What happened in Baku was simply unbelievable. We had a race full of twists and turns, with Oscar Piastri securing his second career victory in brilliant fashion. But that's not all. Charles Leclerc once again saw victory slip through his fingers after starting from pole position. And what about the fierce battle between Sergio Perez and Carlos Sainz that ended in a crash? In this video, we'll dive deep into all the crucial aspects of the race. We'll analyze Piastri's impressive performance and McLaren's dominance, the struggles of Red Bull, and Verstappen's unexpected drop in pace, which surprised everyone. Additionally, we'll look at how McLaren achieved the incredible feat of taking the lead in the Constructors' Championship, something that hasn't happened in years. And of course, we'll discuss the consequences of this race for the rest of the season, which promises to be one of the most exciting in F1 history. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel so you won't miss any details of the upcoming races. Let's start by talking about the big winner of the day, Oscar Piastri. The 23-year-old Australian showed why he is considered one of the greatest promises in Formula One by securing his second victory in the category. And what a victory, folks. Piastri started second, behind Charles Leclerc, but he wasn't intimidated by the Ferrari in front of him. After the pit stop, the McLaren driver executed a breathtaking overtake on Leclerc at turn 1, taking the lead of the race. From there, it was an impressive display of maturity and skill. The most incredible part is that Piastri not only took the lead, but managed to hold off Leclerc for no less than 30 laps. Imagine the pressure on this young man's shoulders, with one of the best drivers on the grid glued to his diffuser lap after lap. But Piastri didn't falter. He managed his tires masterfully, defended intelligently, and crossed the finish line in first place. This victory is not only a personal triumph for Piastri, but also a significant milestone for McLaren. The Woking team has been showing constant improvement throughout the season, and they are now reaping the rewards of their hard work. With this result, McLaren takes the lead in the Constructors' Championship for the first time in over a decade. It's amazing to think that just 18 months ago, McLaren was struggling at the back of the grid. The team's transformation is a testament to the talent of their engineers, the leadership of Zak Brown and Andrea Stella, and of course the exceptional skill of their drivers Piastri and Norris. Speaking of Lando Norris, we can't forget to mention his incredible recovery. After a disappointing 15th place on the grid due to a controversial incident in qualifying, Norris put on a stellar performance. He adopted a bold strategy, starting on hard tires and doing a long first stint. In the end, he managed to overtake none other than Max Verstappen, finishing in an impressive 4th place and setting the fastest lap of the race. The performance of both McLaren drivers this weekend shows that the team is back at the top and ready to fight for the title. Could we be witnessing the return of McLaren's golden era? Only time will tell, but one thing is for sure. They are now the favorites for the Constructors' Championship. Now let's talk about the team that has dominated Formula One in recent years, Red Bull, and more specifically, about the current 3-time world champion, Max Verstappen. This weekend in Baku was undoubtedly one of the toughest for Verstappen and Red Bull in quite some time. The Dutchman, who has accustomed us to dominant performances, finished only in 5th place, even being overtaken by his championship rival, Lando Norris. The problem started during qualifying, where Verstappen complained about the behavior of his car. He mentioned that the RB20 was bouncing in the slow corners, which affected his confidence to push on his laps. The result was a disappointing 6th place on the grid, even behind his teammate, Perez. In the race, things didn't improve much. Verstappen continued to struggle with the car's handling, reporting grip issues and difficulties with the brakes. At one point during the race, he even said over the radio that his brakes weren't working, a terrifying statement for any F1 driver. What makes this performance even more surprising is the contrast with the dominance Red Bull had been showing so far. The team had won every race of the season up to this point, with Verstappen seeming unbeatable in most of them. Seeing the Dutchman struggling to maintain position and being overtaken by rivals is something we haven't been used to. But what's causing these sudden difficulties for Red Bull? The team brought a significant update to Baku, including a new floor. Sergio Perez mentioned that this was the team's biggest update of the year. However, it seems that these changes may have destabilized the car's balance, particularly for Verstappen. It's important to note that not everything was negative for Red Bull this weekend. Sergio Perez showed good pace and was fighting for a podium finish until his unfortunate crash with Sainz. This suggests that the car's potential is still there, but perhaps it will take a bit more time to fine-tune the setup, especially for Verstappen's driving style. The result this weekend has significant implications for the championship. Although Verstappen still maintains a comfortable lead, his margin over Norris has been reduced to 59 points. More concerning for Red Bull is the loss of the Constructors' Championship lead to McLaren, something that hasn't happened in over 2 years. This situation adds extra pressure on Red Bull for the upcoming races. The Austrian team isn't used to being in the chasing position, and it will be fascinating to see how they respond to this new challenge. Now let's talk about Ferrari. The Italian team continues to be an endless source of emotions for its fans, not always for the right reasons. Let's start with Charles Leclerc. The Monegasque secured his 4th consecutive pole position in Baku, a remarkable feat that demonstrates his pure speed. However, once again, victory slipped through his fingers. Leclerc had a good start and maintained the lead in the opening laps, but after the pit stop, he couldn't hold off Piastri's charge. The most frustrating thing for Leclerc and Ferrari fans is that he clearly had the pace to win. For much of the race, he stayed within a second of Piastri, constantly threatening to retake the lead. However, the difficulty in overtaking and tire wear ultimately cost him dearly. Leclerc admitted after the race that he didn't defend well enough against Piastri's move at turn 1. It's an honest self-critique, but also a reminder of the immense pressure Ferrari drivers are under. Every decision, every move is scrutinized, and mistakes are amplified. But if Leclerc's race was a mix of frustration and displays of speed, Carlos Sainz's was a true nightmare. The Spaniard was having a solid race, staying in the fight for the podium until the final laps. Then the drama unfolded. On the penultimate lap, Sainz was fiercely battling with Red Bull's Sergio Perez for 3rd place. Both drivers, known for their aggressive overtakes, ended up colliding. Coming out of turn 2, there was contact between the cars, sending them into the wall. The impact was violent, but fortunately, both drivers emerged unscathed. However, the incident cost Ferrari valuable points in the Constructors' Championship. For Ferrari, this weekend in Baku is another chapter in a season of ups and downs. The speed is there, as evidenced by Leclerc's poles, but execution during the races continues to be a challenge. The pressure on the Maranello team only increases with each race, and it will be interesting to see how they respond in the coming rounds. In summary, the Azerbaijan GP was not just another race, it was a turning point in the 2024 Formula One season. We witnessed the rise of a new title contender, the temporary downfall of a dominant champion, and a significant shift in the dynamics between the top teams. The upcoming races promise to be absolutely thrilling. We'll see if McLaren can maintain its momentum, if Red Bull will recover from their tough weekend, and if Ferrari can fully enter the title fight. Don't forget to leave your predictions for the next race in the comments. And if you enjoyed this analysis, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe to the channel for more content like this. See you at the next race, folks.